Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
S- Splendid.
Can I tell you, I thought your microphone wasn't working for a second. I was throwing a piece of garbage around, and it was a half a tick longer than I was used to,
Yeah.
and I had to do a double take.
I wanted to do something different.
Yeah,
I've
splendiferous.
I've done a splendiferous. There you go. I
I
don't
like
think
it.
I've used that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that
Yeah.
sounds good. Adam, what a show do we have for you today?
Yeah. This is gonna be one of the best shows I
I'll tell
think
you what.
ever.
So we've got Tom Dillon, Tim Dillon,
Tim Dillon. Yep.
Tim Dillon. Did you know he was gay?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until this comedy special that we watched
Yeah.
on
I've seen
Netflix.
I've seen plenty of other comedians make fun of him for
Oh,
that.
gotcha. Okay, for being gay. Hey, that's great. 2025, right? It's same as when we were kids.
Only comedians are allowed to do that.
I guess so. Well, speaking of that, before we get this thing off and rolling, Adam is a comedian. He's been paid by the Funny Bone. He is going to be at Go Bananas in Montgomery on August 20th at the Pro Am event. So when you speak, so I guess technically you can make fun of gay people now.
I'll choose not to. But yeah, I have a license to.
You have a
I
license
got my
to
license.
now that you are officially a comedian.
I'm not a comedian. I've I've been doing some open mics. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that's been going to open mics,
So do you stand
and
up on a
anybody can
stage
do
and
that.
tell jokes?
Yeah.
You're a stand-up comedian.
Okay, then everybody who's ever done that or whoever wants to
How
do
many
that.
times have you done it?
Oh, I don't know, 12 or something like that.
Well, that's you've yeah. That wins. That wins the bat. That wins the title. I say less than a handful. You're just a dude going up there trying it out. You get into double digits, you're a stand-up comedian, bud. I had a guy ask me today. We were having dinner. We were getting ready to leave dinner and walking out. And I was like, man, we got to get home. It's 9:35. My cousin's going to be at my house in a minute. He's like, I thought you guys did that on Wednesdays. I was like, switch it up with the times. We're on Thursdays now. He's like, oh, is he like really just trying to be a stand-up comedian now? And I was like, no,
So
no,
this is somebody that I know.
no. I think he just listens to the podcast or something.
Okay.
Maybe I guess he does because he knows all this. It's a kid on my baseball team's dad.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I've talked. I don't think I've talked. He must listen to the podcast.
He
He's
has
got to.
to.
I don't think he's ever said anything like that before.
I had a friend
I never
text.
even thought about that until just now. Like we just had that whole conversation. I was like, he was asking me about where you're at in your job hunt
Oh,
right
wow.
now. So he's got to listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, has to.
He's never mentioned it to me in 5 years.
Especially if you don't think I've ever met him. Like,
I know you've never met him,
wow. Wow. This is reaching people, buddy.
dude. I'm telling you, man.
I had a friend text me today. I haven't heard from in a long time. She lives in Texas, and she's like, "Hey, catching up on the podcast after not hearing it for a while." And then she started asking me all these questions about stuff we we been talking about on the podcast.
Is
I'm
it
like,
weird that we just come sit in our basement, sit in my basement, do this? I'm not going to lie to you. When we're done, I don't even think about it until we talk on Monday or Tuesday.
yeah. After I post it, I
I
don't think
forget we
about it.
I forget we did it.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But the world can hear it. So careful what you say.
Yeah.
Adam is a stand-up comedian. He will be at Go Bananas on August 20th. He's been paid by the Funny Bone. He has a check, not just for working at the Funny Bone, like delivering drinks, because Adam would never be a waiter, because then he'd have to communicate with people on a multi-person basis in one night. No, Adam stood up on a stage, told jokes, introduced people that were comedians, hosted a show, got paid. Adam is a stand-up comedian.
Question:
Yes.
Does that still count if it doesn't go well?
Yeah, all comedians bomb. That's like if you don't bomb at some point, or if things don't go as good as you wanted it to go, then you're not a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
There's not a single one ever that's ever been like, I've never done a bad show. I've never bombed. I've never had
Nah.
something go wrong.
Yeah, nobody's ever said that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a stand-up comedian, but
Especially in the beginning of your career.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's every time anybody asks me about it, I'm like, I don't, I'm so far away from being good at all. And I'm like, I don't know.
Do you got
It's
you got a solid 7 minutes?
not really even right now. I'm trying a couple new jokes and kind of getting rid of stuff that I'm tired of telling and they're not
Well,
getting
I'm
anything.
gonna
And
tell you this, you might as well figure that out because don't stop telling the ones you're tired of telling. Revamp them.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Revamp them. Don't just stop telling them because you
well, I've done that, but there are some that I've changed a bunch, and at this point, I'm like, well, it's just not getting where I need it to get to. I'm I'm gonna, especially when you do open mics, you have either 5 minutes or 3 minutes, depending on where you go,
yeah,
and it's like you got to figure out which jokes you're gonna tell.
yeah.
Um, so
I love it.
yeah,
I would tell a joke about my son almost not being able to finish second grade because he was too not cutting it in the classroom, if you will, or
sure.
on the tests. And then when he gets to sixth grade, getting to go to the National Junior Honor Society ceremony, watch this little dude get inducted. They talk about each kid and how what they mean to the classroom, words from teachers, and pretty
Wow,
cool stuff today, man.
that's awesome.
Pretty cool stuff today.
Did they mention his batting average at all?
You know, his last name is Witt, just like mine,
Hmm.
because he's my son.
Right.
So he's got my last name.
It's nice
Uh,
of you to lend it to him.
it is, yeah. Even if he had my wife's, it would be a U.
Yeah.
So still towards the end of the alphabet, which means lots of kids, another 25 kids or whatever, were introduced beforehand, and they, like us teachers or whoever the kids had to have a teacher, um, not nominate them, but like write them a recommendation, I guess.
Sure.
So they took what these teachers wrote and read them out loud as they introduced the kids. And, it was a lot of the same stuff, dude.
Sure.
The very first one
I thought
was,
you were gonna say it was tear jerking. It was,
nah, no.
uh,
I mean, I was just because I never thought that would ever happen to any kid that
sure,
ever
that's a
came out
very
of me.
special thing. Yeah.
Um, but, but, no, but the very first one was, you know, a really special kid, means a lot to his class, really tries hard, is kind and really good when it comes to computer stuff. It's like, oh, here we go. This what we got rolling around. There ain't no doubt about that. So whole lot of, leader in the classroom, da da da. Da. And I was like, man, I know the two teachers Parker gave this to. Like, I
Hmm.
was like, one of them is the one that called me to tell me that Parker wrote something really shameful on his paper or something like that. And I was like, what? What did he write? And he's like, he said he was a very big Xavier Musketeer fan. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't do that to a dad, man. My heart sunk for a minute. And the other one is another guy teacher that is like a huge sports guy. So I'm like, maybe they're gonna say something, about that. But it was a lot of super respectful leader in the classroom, that kind of stuff.
Good.
Uh,
Hitting
I was
389.
395 right now, but that's
395. Hey,
okay.
I was close.
395. You
Wow.
were close. You're close. 395. Jumped up to 395 with this tournament that we had this weekend.
Oh.
3-0.
Won the tournament.
Won the tournament.
Beautiful.
3-0. Won the tournament. Bombs for moms.
There's
They
mommy's
got
dancing.
medals. They got medals. No trophy. No ring, which the boys love the rings. They got medals.
Hmm.
So none of them were happy about that.
Wow.
Nobody wants a medal.
Yeah.
Even if it says champion, they don't care. Nobody wants a medal.
Because you're not going to wear that. You can wear the ring, although
Yes, nobody wears the ring
nobody
either,
wears
but
the ring.
it's cooler. Like,
Yeah.
it's like World Series champ, NBA champ, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not a bad weekend. The boys needed it. The boys needed a weekend like that. I'm not a fan of playing lower competition just to get wins.
Yeah.
I hate that. And there are people around me that try to get me to do that a lot,
Oh,
try to get me to schedule games with teams purposely to have a better record.
okay.
Um, I refuse. I think that's ridiculous. It doesn't do any team either good. And unfortunately, the tournament we got in this tournament. I had no idea who was going to be in it, and that's how it turned out. It
You have no
was
control
so
over that.
I had no control over that. And we did what we should have done. Came out, everybody hit like crazy. Parker had his first triple of the year, a
Nice.
legit triple.
Nice.
He had a triple and two extra base hits for
Woo.
the slowest man on earth. So not a bad weekend. It was good for the whole team. Um, but it did make me think like that actually helped some kids that were in a kind of a bad headspace.
There you go.
It did kind of help them.
It is good sometimes to get, especially if you play a sport where you play a lot of games, to get those in there sometimes. You don't want to play them all the time.
Yeah.
It's going to make you better to play competition that's about equal or maybe a little bit better
Yeah.
because you don't want to play the very you don't want to go to tournaments where you're going to play the best teams in the country either. It's you can't play a whole
I
schedule like
do.
that. It's yeah, well,
You're right though. Not a whole schedule like that.
right.
Yeah.
Great to play a couple of games like that. Great to play a tournament with the best teams that you get run ruled in three straight games or something, but you get an idea about how good, some of the
Even
other
when
kids.
we've played in huge tournaments, out of town against like traveling teams and that, we've only been run ruled once.
Yeah. That's which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great, but it's a
Yeah.
great barometer. Like it's a great way
Yeah.
to see where you're at and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's very
So
cool.
anyway, not too bad. How was the basketball world this weekend?
We had our best weekend of the year so far.
Okay.
Yeah, we won two games Saturday, won a game and then so we do the same thing, pool play on Saturday, and then tournament on Sunday, and a lot of these tournaments. So, won our two pool play games on Saturday, won our first tournament game on Sunday, and lost in the semifinal, uh, by 2 points, 71-69. Um, Called a bunch, had to foul at the end of the game a bunch and
Yeah.
called a bunch of timeouts, ran some plays and out of timeouts that actually worked out pretty well. And
Yes.
but we just couldn't, they made enough free throws to
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
But still felt good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Love it. I
Yeah.
love that.
We're in Louisville. We're out of town for our first out of town
You
tournament of the
leave
year.
tomorrow. What
Probably
time?
probably early afternoon, probably around 1:30.
Okay.
Just
Are
just so I
kids
can get
getting
there
out of
early.
class for this?
They might some
Depending
of
on the
them might
parents.
leave a little early.
Depending on the
Yeah,
parents.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we play at 7:10.
And it's in Louisville, so let's say you got to be there. Let's say you tell the kids to be there at 6:45. They got to leave the house. Oh, I mean, they got to leave it at 4:30.
Here's the other thing too. This is like a big tournament. So players have to have like all these credentials and you got to pre-register online and then you got to go there and stand in a long line from what I understand and register in person to do
Each
something else.
each kid.
Every player, every coach. Yep. You got to go, you get some of it done ahead of time, but then you still have to register in person,
Okay.
and get whatever bracelet or something you need. I mean, they're not going to play in bracelets, whatever they give them.
Yeah.
Um, and you got to have like proof that you're staying in town, and there's all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
stuff that you
So
got to do.
baseball tournaments do that where you have to like they have travel agencies that will like you have to book through them.
Hmm.
If you don't book your hotel through them, you might have to pay $500, $600, $1,200. That's a fee because you didn't use the travel
Oh
agency.
my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to Missouri. I have to pay $1,200 to the tournament extra because we are not using their bookings.
I imagine you're I imagine you're still saving money somehow
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of yeah.
they're staying in a huge house that sleeps, 50 people or something ridiculous.
Okay.
And they ended up doing that instead of staying in a bunch of hotels.
Sure.
So, That being said, I don't know that I mean, $1,200 over, I mean, that's, what is that, $10 a kid? There's 12, no, it's $100 a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they're saving $100 over 7 nights
Okay.
by doing this.
Gotcha. Yep. Oh, well, that's fine then.
Yeah. But that is something, I mean, baseball's the same way. They
Yeah.
stay to play tournaments all the time.
Yep.
Stay to play.
So yeah, apparently this is a big thing. I got coaches have to. That's why I want to go early and make sure because they say sometimes depending on when you go, the line is super long.
Mm-hmm.
They say the highway getting there is like down to one lane in some place, and it's like way backed up.
Mm.
So that everybody's saying this is my first away tournament in AAU, but
Yeah.
everybody else before that's been there before is like leave basically as early as you can. So
Where's it at? What's it called?
it's the Classic, the Louisville Classic.
Where is it at?
In at the Exposition
The
Center, I
Expo
think.
Center.
The Expo
I
Center.
stayed right across from that. There's a bunch of kids playing in that when we went to the U.S. Open
Okay.
last year. There's a huge basketball tournament.
Yeah.
We stayed at a Crown Plaza right across the street. It was like legit right across the street from the Expo Center.
Nice.
Go walk over there, and there was a ton of girls basketball players at our tournament or at our hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be a little chaotic down there.
Yeah.
But I think I told you this the other day, but when I start like planning like last week, I started really paying attention, like, okay, where am I gonna be? What time do I need to
Hmm.
be there and all that? I'm like, you know what? That'd be kind of cool to find like an open mic and try an open mic in Louisville while I'm out of town, right?
Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, if you're a comedian, I'm surprised they're not calling you, like, hey, you're coaching this weekend. Can you come down to the Comedy Cellar in Louisville?
Yeah. I'm not surprised that they didn't. Um, but but anyway, on weekend there aren't a lot of open mics on weekends everywhere. So I didn't see one, but as I'm looking for them, I see the Louisville Comedy Club has a gentleman by the name of Dave Attell there this weekend, and so I
Never heard of him.
yeah,
Is he decent?
he's a
Do
new
you like him?
he's new, he's a younger guy. I don't
Have you
really know.
seen it?
I don't know much about him,
Okay, never
but
seen him before,
but he yeah. So I heard he's
or 8 times or whatever.
I heard he's good. I've seen him in person. I think it's either 4 or 5 times. This will be number six because we
Nice.
play we play a Friday night game at 7:10. So I got tickets to the late show, the 9:45.
Woo, cutting her
Plenty of,
close.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah,
These
you're talking.
tournaments,
Are they on schedule? Like boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom. They don't
yeah,
get behind.
because they play like depending on the tournament, it's like either 14 or 16-minute halves, and it's stop and go. Or if you play a 20-minute half, it'll be running clock until 2 minutes left or something like that.
Oh,
So it's yeah, they get the games in plenty of time. If you got 3 games in a row that either go into overtime or they gotta drive an ambulance into the building to pick up a girl that broke her leg or something like that, then yeah, they'll be you. But yeah, for the most part, they stay pretty on track.
good.
So, but anyway, I'm excited about that.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Good for you, man.
I saw Dave Attell like I don't know 5 6 weeks ago here, so I'm gonna see the same exact.
It'll be the
set.
same set. It's all
But
right.
yeah, no, but
He might see you beforehand and be like, "Hey, do you want to do 5? You want to get a quick 5 in?"
if he sees me beforehand, he will think I've never seen that person in my life. I don't know who they are.
You might think that.
I might know that.
You're pretty well known around here, big dog,
Yeah.
big dog.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I know there was something else we were going to talk about. I had something I was going to talk about. You had what else do we have going on in our lives? I'll tell you what. You're looking for a job, right? You got a little hopeful of a gig coming up. I have a job that I've done for 12 years now.
Yeah.
I work in the lumber industry,
Mhm.
building materials. It's an older man's industry.
Okay.
Okay. Lots
So
of
you're not chopping down trees. You
no
are.
selling the
Okay. I
products.
got it.
So I'm 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I started at this when I want to say I was 21. So I'm like right at that 20-year mark. I've been doing this. 20 years, a long time to say you've been doing one job.
You've been in the industry 20
Been
years.
in the
This
industry 20
specific
years. I've been
job.
doing this job for 12.
Yeah.
So that being said,
Mhm.
um,
You're announcing your retirement.
I went to no,
Oh,
I was at a tabletop event today,
okay.
and this place they had a DJ at the lumber yard. I'm boogieing down. I'm having fun. So I get there, and I'm I had a few people tell me that they don't think I can compete in this industry anymore. I was one of 7 people at this event. Okay, vendors at the had my own little table,
Okay.
right, a tabletop. Uh, 4 of them were women under 30.
Wow.
Yeah, selling screws and joist hangers and PVC trim and
That's not
whatever else.
wood.
I was selling wood, but whatever, building products in general.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there, and all these guys keep coming up to me from the lumber yard, and they're standing at my booth, and I've got young women on both sides of me, both very nice people. And these everybody come up, we sit there and talk for a minute. They look at whatever I have on the table, bull crap for a minute. Whatever the DJ's playing, I'm singing, I'm having fun, and they walk away. And both of these young ladies on either side of me at one point were like, "Man, you like steal the show. Everybody's at your table all the time." And I didn't have the heart to tell them they are only at my table for one reason, because it gets them closer to looking at you two ding dongs. They are not here for anything I have to do. I had one guy come up, and he came up to my table, and he was like, "Man, you're going to be standing in a place like this. It's going to be tough for you to keep selling in this industry. You know that, right?" And I'm like, "Tell me about it." The weird guy that just likes to talk a lot is not going to cut it anymore. So I may have to change. I may have to
Your
figure out
gender.
gender. That's what I
Yeah.
said. I have to change my gender.
Mhm.
And see, I feel like I could be a really good looking woman.
I do too.
Been a long time since I shaved the grill, but I could
I
get
think
this
you're
beard off.
already a really good looking woman.
Aw, thank you. You just made my day.
You're welcome.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting overtaken by young women in an old man's industry. I have no chance.
You're right there in between because you're not old
No,
and you're not and you're not
no,
a young lady
no.
either.
I'm just this. I'm just this. This is all I am. This is what you get. This is what you get. These 2 girls, they're oblivious to the world. Man, you're like the life of the party over here. Everybody comes to your table. God, they are not here to see Cedar. I can tell you that right now. It's not it. They're not here to talk to me. But whatever. Sounds good.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
How
Uh
when's the next one of those? Do you know?
I don't have one for a while.
Okay.
I don't let's see, what is it? It's actually no, June. I have
Oh,
one
okay.
next month, middle of June.
So is this like the first time you've noticed that, or have there been?
This is the most prevalent it's been.
Okay.
4 of 7. Then like normally it's me and a bunch of white-haired 60-year-old dudes
Sure.
talking or like hanging out talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not this is the first time it's ever been. Where did all these 30 something, 20 something young ladies come from that I like you've got a bunch of lumbermen. You think they really care what I have to say with them around?
That's pretty smart of them to get into an industry like that, a male-dominated industry.
So no joke. So one of them, the one to the side of me, they're of course these guys are coming up and talking to me, and they're like, "Hey, the girl over here, da da da. She's got 40,000 Instagram followers," and I'm like, "What? What is she doing here?" So, yeah, she's a fitness something on Instagram, and I'm like, "What? Why? I can't." I can't compete with that. I can't keep these men attention
Yeah.
with you around.
What you're gonna have to do is oh, you got your
It's
haircut.
like the 5th time.
You're gonna have to befriend these young ladies so that they can employ you when you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. So I have a
You're just gonna
job.
have to work for
I'm
them.
gonna need a job at some point. That's no joke. That's no joke. I'm gonna need a job at some point. Because this ain't gonna work. Because I can't compete with it. Times are changing.
Can't beat them, join them.
Can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, so man, I do feel like there was something else that I wanted to talk about, and I can't figure out what it was.
You know what we could do is we could talk about the Mount Rushmore, and then if you think of it while
Yeah,
we're
let's
talking
do
about the
it.
Mount Rushmore.
Where are we at? Oh, we got 35 minutes.
All right, we're
All
gonna
right.
beat the time this time.
Doubt it.
We'll see. Something else will come up. All right. Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of minor league baseball team names.
Love it.
Minor league baseball team names. I
How many do you have written down first off?
I was just gonna say I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's like 13, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Nice.
13. Um, yeah, this is I mean, there were some that I left off the list that I was like, that could be on there too. But I was like, I'm not gonna write down every single one. Um, I'll tell you that I haven't picked my four yet. I've got them all written down, and I'm gonna do it right as we speak.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Do you want me to try that first, or do you have your four?
No, I do not have my four.
Okay. Um, let's go. I'm gonna go first with the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
The Sod Poodles.
That's the which is a sod poodle is apparently a prairie dog, just like a nickname for a prairie dog. Prairie dogs would be funny enough, honestly,
Yeah.
but sod poodles even better. That's the double A squad for the Arizona Diamondbacks in Amarillo, Texas, I'm assuming.
Are you sure?
I would guess, unless
Okay.
there's another. Sometimes you hear like there's a Cincinnati, Iowa, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah,
Nobody knows
absolutely.
about
Yeah,
that.
nobody knows what that is. Yeah, they're from Cincinnati. The people are like, yeah, I live in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from Ohio? Nah, Iowa.
And us, we Cincinnatians, when
We.
we're out in the country, I think most of us say we're from Cincinnati rather than Ohio. At least I know I do.
Yeah.
You
Do you
know,
say Cincinnati or
no, I say
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati because
Yeah,
that's how it's
me too.
pronounced.
Me too. I don't know. Just checking.
I'm not Joe Nuxall. Um, God bless you, Joe. Oh, that's what we were gonna talk about.
That's it.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Oh my gosh. I knew there was something. We got to get off of this for a second.
Okay.
All right, let's go into Uncle Pete.
Uncle Peter.
Before we get to the Carolina disco turkeys, let's let's talk about Uncle Pete.
Pete might have played for the Carolina Disco
At
Turkeys.
some
I
point
don't
in
know.
time, he may have. Undrafted, out of high school. His uncle was a scout for the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds did his uncle a favor and brought him in for a tryout. And next thing you know, the one of the all-time greatest hitters of became a Cincinnati Red, and could possibly be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Adam, thoughts on Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe and the entire 1919 Black Sox team being reinstated into baseball?
Hooray! That's my reaction.
Is it?
Yeah. Um, obviously good news for folks around here in Cincinnati,
Cincinnati?
and cool for Shoeless Joe too. Like I really like that. I mean, now here's the biggest thing for me. This is what I want to know from you. All right.
Okay.
Obviously, it's exciting. I think we both probably kind of feel the same. Like growing up, Pete Rose was like the idol, the great. And then as you get older, you hear all the stories about Pete had his troubles, right?
Well, here's the thing with Pete.
Mhm.
Pete Rose told everybody for 10 to 12, 15 years, whatever, that, he never did it. He never did it. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then Pete admitted to betting on baseball when he was trying to sell a book to make money.
Mhm.
Not an apology, not he just admitted he did it, but then said, I never bet on the Reds to lose. All these different things, right? He's never been sorry ever for anything he's ever done. It's never came up. No, he's never said
He's never said he's sorry.
he's never been apologetic for it.
Okay.
That I've ever heard. It's Pete Rose. It's always, but I didn't do this or I didn't do,
Yeah.
and if
But
anybody,
what about all these guys that, drank a whole lot
and if
all
there's
that?
anybody that has gotten more notoriety or more fame or more fortune from not being in the Hall of Fame, it was Pete Rose. He was at every induction ceremony, at a card shop. He had a wax museum down there. He's like, the dude did everything he could to monetize off of the fact that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Pete's not the greatest dude in the world.
Right.
Okay. I wouldn't want my son to be Pete Rose.
Right.
I want him to play ball like Pete Rose, but I don't want him to be Pete Rose. I feel like that. I mean, it came out 5, 7, 8 years ago that when he was in his 30s, some 16-year-old, well, not 16 at the time, but there was a woman who came out and said when she was 16, she was with Pete Rose or whatever and trying to she tried to get some money out of it or whatever. And Pete was like, well, what did he say? No, she was 13. That's what it was. She was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And Pete said, well, she told me she was 16, looked 16 to me, because back then that was the age you were allowed to be. And he's like, oh, that was the age back then of 16. She told me you're 30 something years old. Not, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. No. Well, she told me she was 16. I thought she was 16. That was the answer to the question.
Yeah.
That is the story of Pete Rose's life.
Yeah.
That being said, Pete Rose did something that it says you'll be banned. It's a permanent ban. It's not a lifetime ban. It's a permanent ban from baseball if you bet on the game, if you gamble on baseball. Rob Manfred has now came back and kind of tweaked the wording to a lifetime ban. Therefore, Shoeless Joe can get in the 1919 Sox, and Pete Rose is able to get in posthumously.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with it. I'm good. Like, I think it's better that I honestly think it's better that this happened after he passed away.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to talk about, because there are a lot of people who are really up, and people were already talking about it before that happened, or before this happened, even before Pete died, that they're like, everybody's like, man, not everybody. Some people were like, everybody, what am I doing? Some people are like,
from what I got was some people,
yeah,
not everybody,
yeah.
Well, some people.
Yeah. Some people, everybody said, no, people were talking about like, oh, people were already mad about them doing this after he died, before any of that stuff happened.
Before it ever happened.
Right.
They were mad because he died, and they were like, he's going to get in now after he died. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want Pete, if you're Major League Baseball, do you want Pete with a microphone in front of his face at the Hall of Fame? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would have been.
And you did something you're not supposed to do, and you admitted to it, and it's in every single locker room.
Yeah. That's the thing for me is, and you mentioned the wording. To me, I always heard that it was a lifetime ban, which sounds to me, I don't know the exact wording of the exact, rule or the ban or whatever document says that he's banned. But to me, that was for the rest of his life. If that's the case, if that's the wording, then you shouldn't have to make this reversal now. He died. Now anybody should be eligible who had a lifetime
that wasn't
ban.
the wording. I just found this out.
Permanent ban,
Yeah,
right?
it was called a permanent ban. That's the reason that the 1919 White Sox have never been in.
Yeah.
It has always been a permanent ban. People have just called it a lifetime ban,
which is totally different.
Yeah, 100% different.
Yeah.
But the actual wording in the bylaws of whatever it says in every baseball locker room is if you bet on baseball, you'll be permanently banned from the game.
So if it's a permanent ban, then yes, you're going to have this.
And Uncle Robbie met with the Donald, and the Donald wanted this to happen, and he probably had some things that he was going to hash out his way and said, let's call it lifetime ban.
I don't know how he had anything to do with this, but as soon as they did have that meeting, they like the rumors started swirling. Like,
you don't think he had anything to do with this?
No,
I think 100%.
No, I do. I don't know why.
Why?
Yeah, right.
Nobody knows that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's way more important things going on in your world, Donald.
Yeah,
getting Uncle Pete in the hall.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, we appreciate it.
yeah, I don't know why that, but yeah, I guess we know who Rob Manfred voted for. No, but yeah, yeah, it did happen because they started talking about that right
Here's
away.
the
That
deal.
yeah, yeah,
Pete might have been, was the all-time greatest to ever do it. They say they've never seen anyone like him.
yeah, yeah. He's like, look, I'm the president. If I could be president, he could
Yeah.
be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Look at my hair. Look at Pete's. I'm the president. He gets the Hall of Fame.
Oh man. No,
Worst hair. Worst hair. Pete Rose in the 70s.
yeah. That giant helmet of hair.
Pete Rose in the 70s or Donald Trump forever.
That cotton candy wig. um it's got lemon cotton candy on top of it. No, okay. That was the biggest thing to me is the difference between the permanent and the lifetime. I was like, when I saw permanent, I was like, wait a minute. That's different than what I've heard all along.
Yep.
Is that what they're calling it now? Now that they're, oh, it was a permanent ban, but they never called it that. I don't. Anyway, you cleared that up for me. So, yeah, if it was permanent, then it's permanent. That means forever. So it's good that that was overturned. It's time. I mean, I think it's totally fine
So,
that
and
after
here's
these
the- like
guys are
I
gone.
feel like so all this is done now.
Mhm.
First off, Pete can't. He's not even eligible for the old timers ballot or whatever ballot they're going to put him on until 1920,
That was a long time ago, but
2027.
okay.
Until 2027. So it's going to be a minute before he's even eligible
Sure.
to get on to anything. Who should be inducted first, Shoeless Joe Jackson or Pete Rose?
Why wouldn't they be inducted at the same time?
Because I asked you the question differently.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a rule like you can only do one.
I have no idea. Do you feel like Shoeless Joe should be able to get in first? Since he batted 375 in the World Series, led the World Series in home runs, RBIs, runs scored, batting average, on base percentage, and yet was said it's said that he's banned because he was throwing the World Series.
Yeah. No, I don't think he should get. I don't think either one should necessarily get in first over the other one. If they decide we're only giving it to one, I don't know. I mean, everybody knows Shoeless Joe's numbers from that World Series in 1919. I know he was a great player career wise. I off the top of my head, I don't know his.
Oh no, his career numbers are
Yeah.
top 50 player of all time.
Yeah, I know that
Maybe
much,
maybe not top 50, but top 100.
Okay.
He's top 100 player of all time.
Okay. So I know that much, but I don't know what they are. So I comparing to Pete or any, which you don't need to do that anyway.
My
should
my
both be
point
in.
is
They
not
should both be
is
in, there's
not
no question.
is not their playing career. My point is for what they did
Oh,
and for how long they were banned.
yeah. The amount of time they were banned, honestly, because they're both gone. If they were alive, then that might mean something. But
Some say Shoeless Joe never died.
yeah, that's true. He lives in a cornfield.
That's right.
Um,
Comes out every time I turn my TV on
yeah,
to have a catch.
yeah.
Sorry, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't want to have a catch. His buddy,
Yeah.
wants to have a catch with his son.
Yeah, Ray Kinsella. Yeah, I put them both in. Why wouldn't you at this point put them both in? Everybody knows that they're two of the best players to ever play baseball. They're eligible now. That was the other thing I was confused about too. Is
We don't know. I don't know that it's been out there. Are they going to go straight to the old timers committee kind of a thing? Or are they going to be put because they've never been on the ballot? So they've never had an opportunity to have votes at all? Are they going to be on the original ballot with new people?
I think I heard that they have to be that whatever that committee is.
The old timers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of player in that because that has to do with players in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of people.
I saw the list of people on that committee. It's a lot of players and a lot of players that played against him, which
Yeah.
I think is good.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't think so?
a lot of people that did not like what Pete did, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, but they know they played against him. Like they know how good Pete
and they
was
feel
and
like
how
he
much he
disgraced the
deserved.
game.
I know, but I
Just
think
like steroids guys, these steroids guys aren't getting inducted, and I don't care if he did steroids or not. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer.
yeah, yeah. But I feel like I've heard. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've heard more guys from that era talk about how Pete should be in than not because of that. I know that there are guys, plenty of guys that don't feel. Johnny Bench for a long time said he didn't think Pete should be in, right?
And now he's the biggest advocate.
Yeah. And so I don't know. But there are current executives of baseball teams. There are some writers, and there. So this committee is made up of several different kinds of people. But I don't know. I mean, how do you not put him in, and especially after he's dead? And it's not. That's I don't. The big complaint for people like we were talking about before is they're upset that they did this now after he's dead.
Yeah,
I'm
I got no problem with that.
yeah.
I got no problem with that at all.
I
I think they
it
did the
would
right. If they since they waited that long, you don't just do it right before he dies. No, no, it is what it is. I think they did. I don't disagree with it. I don't hate it. If they would have let him in earlier, I'd been fine with it too.
yeah.
But I'm not mad
Yeah, same,
at this. I'm not
same,
mad at all.
same.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna do the speech?
Hopefully Pete Jr.
You want to hear Pete Jr. up there?
I mean,
Listen,
there
Dad,
are plenty, and
me and Dad went through a lot of times, and they still say that he gambled on the Reds, and I tell you he didn't. And they also say that I was selling steroids in the minors, but I wasn't doing that either, even though I got caught with them.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would mess with any of that stuff. I, it would have been I mean, I think it probably would have been good for baseball if Pete was up there doing that speech. I know he can be not even a loose cannon, just not smart enough to like filter his words properly, I guess. But it doesn't matter. Like he would give such a compelling speech because of the memories that his
First off,
memory.
the most unbelievable memory of and like people like that are insane.
Yeah, and especially if somebody was in his ear about, look, address the whole thing, but make that a short part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk about your career, talk about your teammates, talk about the managers you
Yep.
play, you know, talk about how much you love the game because he still does. He did
Yep.
all the way up to the last day of his life. So I think it would have been totally fine, and they would have gotten a zillion people up there, and they're not going to they'll still get tons of people, especially from around here up there.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he was there in person, they would
Yeah.
have gotten way more people,
Yeah.
and it would have been a televised. Well, they all are televised, but you would have had a lot of people around the country
Yeah.
watching that. So it might have been actually good for him, and he might have said something silly and stupid or whatever.
He would
But
have.
yeah, sure. But
But also
it would
when
have been
he did
fine.
the World Series with was it A-Rod and Frank Thomas?
Yeah,
Some of the best post game ever
yeah.
was during that World Series.
Yep. I've watched that video 1,000 times of him talking about the adjustments you make
There's
on
six
your.
adjustments. There's
Yeah.
only six adjustments you make when you're a hitter. There's only six adjustments you need to make. Move up in the box, move back in the box, get closer to the plate, move further away from the plate. You choke up more, you choke down more.
Yeah.
That's it. There's the only six adjustments you need to make when you're a hitter.
And
You
then
got to the big leagues because of your swing.
Yeah.
You got a big league swing. Don't adjust your swing. Make those adjustments.
that's
all.
almost word for word.
100. Yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times.
So if I watch it, I watch it and then he goes into something like Gaylord Perry threw me this backdoor slider on a 2-1 count in in June 3rd of 1979, and I took it the other way and I fouled it off. But I knew he was going to come back with the fastball up and in. So I adjusted a little bit and I choked up, and then I went a little shorter, and I put it over the shortstop, and he would have the exact shortstop's name in his head. Just dumped it over his head and went to first, and then I stole second, and then Johnny Bench knocked me in after that. I mean, he would know
Yep.
all that stuff, and he went into some kind of thing like whoever pitched him in some
What the
adjustment he made or
count
something.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, congratulations to Pete and all the Pete fans,
And I hope he does get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
First off, I say it all the time. Pete Rose, the Hall of Fame is a museum.
Hmm.
Pete Rose is all over the Hall of Fame museum,
Yeah.
all over it. You can't tell the story of baseball without talking about Pete Rose.
Mhm.
He's all over it.
Yeah.
He's just not in one section.
He just doesn't have the plaque up there.
Just doesn't have the plaque.
Hmm. What team do you think he's gonna?
Oh, 100% Philadelphia
Yeah,
Phillies. Yeah.
I was gonna say either them
Yeah.
or Montreal. I would say.
Nah, he's gonna go
You
Phillies.
think we'll go Phillies?
Yeah, he didn't win a title in
Yeah.
Montreal.
But he did have his 4,000th hit with Montreal.
Yeah, but he didn't win a title.
Yeah, that's true.
That title in 4,000. What's 4,000? That's just a number.
I mean,
4192 when he broke the record was the Reds and won another championship with the Phillies. Like I'm going those two. My 4,000th hit when I've had 4,256 hits in my career. You think I care about 4,000? What's psh,
yeah,
it's just another hit.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think his plaque's gonna have the Phillies cap on it, and I think if Pete Jr. does the thing, he'll be decked out in Philly stuff probably.
He might be decked out in Montreal Expo gear.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Pete.
You hard-headed ding dong.
Yeah, you hard-headed ding dong. And congratulations to, I mean, it'll be cool to see Shoeless Joe and what they do with that.
Yeah.
His great, 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 great grandson will
I
be
remember
up there.
we went and you were with me with did you come with me and my dad when we went to um who was it? It was Tony Perez, Sparky Anderson,
Oh,
Carlton Fisk, and Bid McPhee.
uh, I was not with you guys.
No? So
I went for Barry Larkin.
okay.
Yeah.
So Carlton Fisk was up there with three Reds. And Bid McPhee from like 1816 or whenever he played baseball, got into the Hall of Fame as a Cincinnati Red. I wish I could remember who did his speech. It was the 18 it was like 1890 something or whatever. It was a long time ago. And God, I wish I could remember who did his speech because whoever did his speech never met him. No idea who the dude like it's my great great uncle or
Yeah.
something. I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to know who does the Shoeless Joe speech, even though Shoeless Joe obviously is totally different. Like if you're related to Shoeless Joe, you have family stories.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yep. Oh wait, the actor who played Shoeless Joe should do the speech.
He's dead.
That's what I think. His son should do it.
Didn't he just die? Ray Liotta didn't Ray Liotta
Oh
just
yeah,
die?
yeah, was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Ray Liotta died.
yeah. Yeah.
He gone.
You know. Yeah. I think
Uh,
they should put him in the Hall of Fame now too.
yeah, yeah. For contributions to the game,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
he did get Ray
Po-
Kinsella
Posthumously.
posthumously. Well done. It took me 3 tries. You got it. You corrected me on the first try and got it on the first try.
Uh, all right, well that's cool. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be talking about that in a couple years when those guys get
Oh,
eligible
absolutely.
and all that business.
You want to go? Do you feel any need or want to go to that ceremony?
I kind of, I
I
kind of
feel like the
don't.
Shoeless Joe one would be
Honestly.
huge.
Yeah,
I feel like I just Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose, if they were going in, just the amount of people would be insane.
that might deter me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah,
know that I need to go to that.
yeah.
Who's the next player of your lifetime that you would want to go see get inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Man, I, I don't know that I have one honestly.
Really?
If like Eric Davis got in somehow or
Hey,
something, I would
ED's not getting in.
no. But if he got in somehow, I'd probably go for that. But other than that, I mean,
Down the road,
my
Hall of Very Good, Joey Votto gets in.
yeah. I don't know that I'd go for that. I like Joey Votto a lot. I
My
just don't
son
know.
loved Joey Votto. I feel
Yeah.
like I would go for Parker.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Yeah, I'm not sure I don't know. I don't feel like I would.
What about if Billy Hatcher got in?
Yeah, I'd be there.
Glenn Braggs,
Yeah, I'd be there.
Herb Winningham?
Yeah, I'd be there.
Herb. I called him Herb.
Herb
I
Winningham.
just called him Herb.
Herbert
Ooh,
Winningham.
sorry, Herb. Which is more of a normal name than his Herm.
Herm.
That's not a normal name. Is his name Hermit?
Herman, probably. Herman.
Herman?
Herman, yeah.
Like George Herman Ruth?
Like Herm Edwards, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's more Herbs than Herms.
Pee Wee Herman.
That's the last name.
It's also a first name. It's the same spelling.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't trust anybody that's got two first names. So Pee Wee and Herman, don't trust them.
Yeah, I hear you. Um, wait. What's the no, never mind. Okay.
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark.
Is that what you were asking?
That's
Is
what
that the answer to the
that's what I
question?
was gonna say.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that played for the Padres and
I
some
was
other
going to say
guys in the
Tigers.
Tigers and
I don't remember it with the Padres,
yeah.
but I'm sure he did.
He played for the Padres. Yeah, and that's who I was gonna say who was the guy that played for the Padres, and you said Jack Clark, and that's exactly who I was thinking of. So yeah, Jack Clark.
Nice. You're welcome.
Thank
You
you.
seem like you were having trouble and then you figured it out. I just wanted to let the audience know what you were thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about Jack Clark, first name coming to the head?
That's pretty good.
Pretty impressive, right?
That's good.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Jack Clark.
You ever wonder how your brain works?
Yeah. I usually wonder why it doesn't. Yeah.
I always want to know how it got. I don't want to know how my brain doesn't work because I know why my brain doesn't work. There are plenty of reasons for that. I want to know where my brain came up with what it came up with.
I have a complaint that I've never done drugs, and there are people who do tons of drugs who have a way better brain than I do, and that's not fair.
My complaint is if I'm not going to do these, dag on it,
Who do I file
who do
this
I talk
complaint
to?
with? Oh man. Okay. Mount Rushmore of minor league baseball team names.
Let's get back to it.
I'm going with the Amarillo Sod Poodle. I'm going with the Hartford Yard Goats. Hartford Yard Goats are the AA squad for the Colorado Rockies. Hartford, Connecticut Yard Goats. I am going with the Kannapolis Cannonballers.
I love that one.
Low A team for the White Sox, who beat the Reds in a series recently, and that is shameful. I'm going with the man. I must grab one from this page, and it's going to be the. I put a couple on here that are like Atlantic League and Pioneer.
Yeah, those
League
are
and
fun.
Frontier
I'm cool
League.
with that. Yeah.
Okay.
The Florence Y'alls popped up on one of my lists.
Same.
Like I don't feel like
Same.
maybe it's just because they're here.
I
don't
know.
feel
I
like
think
it's that
we're just
weird.
used to it, but I was trying to think of that. Like if I'm not from here and I heard that y'all's,
Y'all,
that's very
your
it's
team
unique.
name is the Y'alls.
Yeah.
Like y'all coming down for dinner.
Yeah. It yeah, I'm not gonna go with I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the Missoula Paddleheads. That they're a team in the Pioneer League, which is not directly affiliated, but it's like a under the umbrella of Major League Baseball. It's not like a direct feeder, but
I like it.
that's it. Those are my three.
So no Carolina disco turkeys.
I didn't even see that one, to be honest with you. I missed that somehow. But that's you gotta be on there.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I haven't looked to see who they are or what they are. Um, let's see. Carolina disco turkeys.
That's so good.
Man, come on. From minor league teams affiliated with doesn't tell me.
Mhm.
Man, there's a lot. There's a
Mhm.
lot. I'm gonna start off with I think I'm gonna go with the Carolina Disco Turkeys.
You got to.
Also one of my favorites of all time. We went to a game, the Rocket City Trash Pandas,
Mhm.
which is really just Huntington, Alabama. It's the Huntington, Alabama. Wait a minute, hold on. God, I'm so bad with names of things. What is
Raccoons.
thank you. The Huntington, Alabama Raccoons.
Jack
That's what
Clark.
Yeah, thank you. God, it's about time somebody got in my brain. The Huntington, Alabama raccoons is really what the Rocket City trash pandas are,
Yeah.
which is just outside the rest area that has the spaceship, the big rocket when you're heading on 71 South.
Oh,
No,
no.
you don't know the spaceship heading down 71 South
How far down?
in Huntington, Alabama.
Oh, I've never been.
It's right when you get into Alabama.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think I've ever been to
Yeah.
Alabama.
Oh, you never been to Alabama?
Mm-mm.
Oh
I don't
man.
think so.
Yeah, I just love going to that part of the Gulf Coast, so it's probably the only reason why I've been there. Um, I think after those two, dude, the Amarillo sod poodles, that's a good one.
That's a pretty
That
good one.
really is a good one. I'm gonna go with the Burlington sock puppets.
Okay, that's good too.
I'll go with the Burlington sock puppets, and then uh there's the Norwich Sea Unicorns,
Yeah.
um, the Rumble Ponies in Binghamton.
Yeah.
Is it Binghamton or Binghamton?
I think it's Binghamton.
Binghamton.
I think
I
so.
like
Yeah.
Binghamton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Gastonia Honey Hunters. No, you know what? The Montgomery biscuits
Yeah.
have got to be on there. One of my first hats I ever purchased as an adult
Hmm.
was
It's got a butter tongue.
it does. It's got a butter tongue. Montgomery biscuits, Carolina disco turkeys, um, trash pandas, and then who was my other one that I had? My contact just goofed up in my eye.
Oh, oh, the Cincinnati I.
Institute.
Thank
Um,
you for our sponsor, Cincinnati Ice.
did I go with the Jacksonville jumbo shrimp? No, I
Yeah,
don't think I did.
I think you only said three. Did you say three or did you say four?
Carolina disco turkeys,
Hmm.
Burlington sock puppets,
Hmm.
Montgomery biscuits,
Hmm. Oh, and trash pandas.
and yeah, Rocket City trash pandas.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dude, we could have did this 7 times and had 28 different
I know.
names.
I mean, I like the Omaha Storm Chasers. I like the Sugarland Skeeters. You know, you got the Gastonia Honey Hunters.
The Honey Hunters was a close one on mine.
Yeah. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
I didn't see that
Yeah.
one. Lehigh Valley.
Hmm.
That sounds like Lehigh Valley, whatever you just said, sounds like a
Iron Pigs.
Iron Pigs. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs sounds like a team that was going to play um, somebody in a movie in Friday Night Lights or something like that. And it's like, here we are. We're playing the Lehigh Valley Thunder Pigs. Is that what they were?
Iron Pigs.
Iron Pigs.
It's the AAA affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Iron Pigs. I went to one of my favorite things. I went to a Charleston Dirty Birds.
Yeah. Should have been the Charleston Shoes.
What was the team they played was from Lexington.
Legends.
No,
No.
no, no, they are not the Legends. This is kind of fun. They had like an upside down backwards clock or something weird.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
Lexington, Kentucky,
Lexington Time Chaser.
independent
Lexington
baseball team.
Time Travelers.
Oh, it just popped up Lexington Legends. Well, that sucks because that's not what I was looking for.
Hmm.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
A minor league team from Lexington.
It's an independent league.
Oh,
The
independent.
Florence Y'alls and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know it.
Anyway,
Well, all right. Do we go on to our comedy special of the week, which is Tim Dillon, I'm your mother. Yeah. Tim Dillon,
I
I am
think
your
we do.
mother.
I think we do. I am your mother.
Uh,
I'll tell you. I'll
please.
I'll tell you. So first off, RFK impression, fantastic,
Hmm.
amazing. Makes me wonder if any of that is true. That he really had lunch and did all that stuff, and I don't know. It's funny. I hope it is because that's would be a great story for him to be hanging out with RFK It would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, well done. Now you're gonna get me. I will say that I he's a funny guy. Tim Dillon's funny. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I laughed out loud hard ever because I never did. I never, not one time did I laugh out loud.
Mm,
I never had a moment where I was like, not even like that.
mm,
Lots of smiles.
sure.
Lots. I mean, this is one of the weird ones I've ever watched where it was like, this is good, but I never laughed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Does that make
does.
sense?
Yes, it does.
Like everything he said was good, and I was constantly smiling, but he never got me.
Mhm.
Dude, he never got me. And I think that was a tough part for me. Um, yeah, the RFK stuff was good. I don't know. I don't know.
He talks about politics and social issues a lot.
Yeah,
Like he's got a big podcast too, and he always talks about stuff like that. So yeah, he did a lot of stuff about politics and a lot of stuff about like transgender people and gay people and all that. And so he always does that kind of stuff. He I was the same way. It was probably not quite as probably not quite as funny as I thought it might be, but I did laugh just a little bit out loud a couple of times. But it was more
yeah,
that same thing. Like, okay, all right, that was pretty good,
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was well, you
I'm
go ahead.
interested to hear where we stand on this.
Yeah,
You want to do it at the same time?
yeah,
All right, on the count of three. One, two. Wait a minute. Time out. Hold on. You're not a point zero, are you?
no.
Okay, thank God. I was about to.
Now I'm gonna change it to a point
All
zero.
right,
All
here we
right,
go.
all
Ready? On
right.
the count of three. One, two, three.
3.2.
3.2. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. As we were having this conversation, when you started to agree with me, I knew exactly we were going to be on the same page.
3-2.
So threes, for those of you that don't listen to the podcast all the time, if you're watching the comedy special with us or waiting to watch it later, threes, we 100% suggest you watch. Like it's going to be good. It's a good comedy special. Fours, if you don't watch it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And if you get to the five, have we had a five?
If we did, it was early on. I don't think
I don't know that we've ever had a five.
we might have had a.
I had one of Nate's got a pretty, I gave one of Nate's like a 4.7 or something like that, I think.
I
I
feel
don't know
like
that we've been over 4.8.
I don't. I feel like we might have been early. I think the Kings of Comedy was maybe my highest.
Yeah, and we gave that a high one, but that was but that was like a in general just off of I don't know, that felt like it felt different
Yeah,
because
it
it
was
was
four
a
people. I mean,
yeah,
yeah. Um,
which
no,
should make it harder to get a high score, and they were
that's how
all
good it
so
was.
amazing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only would have been better if they could have added Ron White to that from what came out. It was the original Kings of Comedy, and then Jeff Foxworthy came out with his group. It was
Oh,
him,
yeah.
Cable Guy, Ron White, and
Bill Engvall.
Bill
Oh,
Engvall.
Jack Clark.
Bill Engvall. What was the name of that?
That was the Hillbillies of Comedy. No, it was the Blue Collar Comedy.
Blue Collar Comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like if you took, who would you take off? I mean, Ron White was the funniest on that, right?
Yes.
If you took Ron White, is there anybody that was not as funny on original Kings of Comedy that Ron White could have taken over?
I thought everybody
Dude,
was
DL
pretty
Hughley
good.
was hilarious.
He was great. Bernie Mac was.
Bernie Mac by far. I mean, if you took somebody off, it'd be Ced the Entertainer.
Man,
I know. Well, Steve Harvey wouldn't count because he really didn't do a set. He
he
was
was
just
the
kind of the
host.
host. Yeah.
He did. I mean, he did. He did
I mean,
a couple of
he
sets
probably
for
did
a few sets.
20 minutes or 30 minutes altogether on his
Yeah,
own anyway. But
absolutely. Yeah. I don't think I would put Ron White over any of those guys.
No, in that from that,
Yeah.
dude, I thought Ron White was amazing in that.
He's great. He was great. He
Yeah,
still is great.
dude, that original Kings of Comedy, that's legit.
So good.
Did you bring that to
I have
my
it on
house?
VHS.
Did you did you bring that to my house for me to watch? I have it on DVD.
Oh,
Do you have it on
I
DVD?
don't think. I
I have
think
it
I
on. Do you have a VHS player? Do you want it on DVD? I have. I just saw it the other day
um
in my laundry room.
I can get it on some sort of streaming or some sort of
No, you
something.
gotta get a DVD player, man.
I can probably find it on YouTube.
Do they have
I do
Betamax?
have a DVD player.
Do they have Betamax still? Is that still out there?
I bet you can get one. I
Probably.
don't think they're produced.
I wonder if it works. Like if you bought one, if it would work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm addicted to again?
What?
These bid websites.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never got into it, but
I love
you guys in the Edwards
liquid.
got
I
a
love,
whole
oh
bunch of good
boy, I'm gonna
stuff.
tell you what. I love Liquid Death.
Uh-huh.
You ever seen that? The
water?
water?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's cans of water. I like the black one, which is like a sparkling water.
Okay.
Love it. So I'm just playing around on there. Liquid Death, 12 pack, which is like 15 to $20 in the store. Nobody's bid on it. $0. I'm like, dollar. Got a 12 pack for $1.
Oh, check the date.
Go back on. It's water. Go back on. It's in a can.
Sparkling water,
It's
though.
sparkling water in a can. Go back down. There's 40 cases on this website, and they're all spread out a couple hours apart. I'm currently up to 8 cases that I've bought.
For $8.
Never spent more than $4
Wow,
on a
good for
case.
you,
I love that stuff.
man.
My wife goes, "Why am I getting all of these? What did you do?" And I was like, I might have 8 cases of Liquid Death sparkling water coming to me right now.
Yeah.
I also got my because I was on there, I got my white elephant present for Christmas.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty
All right,
pretty
say it
excited.
in my ear. What is it?
A flashlight stun gun.
Nice.
I
Oh,
don't even care. Nobody
oh God.
nobody listens to this.
If that Wait, is that what it really is?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
man.
kidding with you. It is a like 500 lumens, 500,000 lumen flashlight and like 980-volt stun gun.
Uncle Bob is gonna stun all of his boys.
Can't wait.
Mike and Tony
I'm
are gonna
so-
stun each other.
I'm so excited for this.
Bobby's gonna stun Danny and Tony and Mike.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Bobby's gonna sneak up to Uncle Bob and stun him, and Uncle Bob's gonna grab him and
Dude, he's so great. Do you remember when Uncle Bob came home? Were you had to be. I feel like there was like 7 of us. Uncle Bob had his stun gun from or I don't know if he bought it or if it was Hamilton County issued. I don't know. This is back in the 90s,
Yeah.
early 90s. And we were all sitting around in a circle, and you put your finger on a piece of metal. Whoever was next to it put their finger on a piece of metal that was on the stun gun, but it wasn't like where the ray went across.
Yeah.
Put it on the side, and the person on the other side put it on the side, and everybody held hands in the circle, and he hit it, and the person in the middle could feel the shock hitting them in the center of in the center. It wasn't bad. Like you didn't feel like a real shock. It was just like a little like a
Little tingle.
just
or
get a little tingle. Yeah. I'll never forget that. That was
I don't
crazy.
know if I was there. I don't remember
That was insane.
that. I would have been too scared to do it.
Oh,
Probably.
that was insane. I feel like there was like 10 of us there. It was probably like 5. It was probably his 4 boys and me. It's probably what it was. It was probably the 4 boys and me. Felt like 100 people were sitting in the, what do they call that? The TV room?
TV room.
Is that the one where they had the computer?
Oh, computer room maybe? I don't know.
But it had the TV that you played the games on. You play
Yeah.
the game in there, and but not Uncle Bob's Blue Room.
Right.
Right.
Not the blue room.
Right.
This is a blue room kind of.
This is definitely a blue room. Believe it or not, that is all gray. But because this is blue, it makes it feel blue.
Is that gray?
That is gray. But with this blue back here behind us, it
Yeah,
tints it up a little bit, makes it feel a little blue.
it does. It does.
All right, 11:45, 10 minutes late.
We need a comedy and a Mount Rushmore.
Okay, that's on me.
You want to, whenever if you want to split them or we want to keep it this way, I'm fine either way.
So, comedy. Let's see here. Doom, doom, doom. Um, let's see. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Comedy for next week is going to be man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not watched this Mark Twain, Conan O'Brien, Mark Twain yet.
Watched it.
Is it good?
Yes.
I've
Very
not
good.
seen it yet, but I heard so many good things.
Very good.
The Kevin Hart one was funny,
Mhm.
but I heard that one is amazing.
Yep. The Adam Sandler one last year was really good.
Yeah. Man, we're moving. We're moving. Give me a second here.
Yeah,
Give
you're
me a
good.
second here.
We're good. We're good. I'll tell you.
Oh wait, do you have Hulu? Do you need my login for Hulu? Can we do the Bill Burr?
I don't have Hulu.
If I give you my login for Hulu, do you want to do the
Sure.
Bill Burr?
Yeah.
It is called. Is that bad? I mean, people have Hulu, right? I mean, all of our listeners. We should be paid by Hulu to get more viewership for them. Let me type his name in so I can tell you what it was called.
We don't have any more room for sponsorship. We're already sponsored in this episode by the Cincinnati Eye Institute.
Yes. And Jack Clark for the Hall of Fame.
Sponsored by Hall of Famer Jack Clark.
Oh boy. Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years.
Dead years.
Yep.
Okay.
Drop Dead Years.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Now, that being said, no, that's a minute and 31 seconds. Um, I didn't mean to do that. Hour and 8 minutes. Okay, not bad.
Okay.
Crystal.
By the way,
Krista Stefano's got one on here.
yeah. How about
Roy Wood
how about like 40 minutes on that Tim Dillon special?
That was perfect.
That was great.
That's about all I needed. I tell you that. couldn't
Okay.
couldn't wait for that to be over. That's not true. It was good.
No.
All right. So Mount Rushmore. Let's do the man. I'm gonna tell you what. Been watching a lot of wrestling lately. A lot. The new Dark Side of the Ring is out right now.
Mm.
I know we talked about Dark Side of the Ring. You've never watched it, have you?
I've probably seen a couple of episodes, but
Well, when you get my Hulu, you can
yeah.
search it. Let's say the Mount Rushmore of I'll tell you, there's a lot of good Mount Rushmores we haven't done, but I think we should do the Mount Rushmore of New York Knicks.
Okay. I mean, they by next week they may be in the Eastern Conference Finals against the
Before next, yeah, yes,
before
by
next
next week. Well, before our show, yeah, they may be 2 games into the Eastern Conference
Yeah.
Finals by the time we do this again.
Yep.
Hopefully they are, because that'll make this feel a little better.
So
Otani just hit his second dinger of the game.
Oh, nice.
Um,
And the Denver Nuggets beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the series. So you know what that means.
Game 7. My son, God love him. We went to dinner tonight, for his little ceremony and all his stuff. And he said, Dad, can I stay up a little past my bedtime tonight and watch OKC in Denver? And I said, absolutely. But you got to turn the volume down. And he goes, but when I turn the volume down, I fall asleep. I said, exactly. He goes, can I tell you the truth? I said, what? He goes, when I'm awake in the beginning, I'm my own commentator in my head. It's like, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's great.
Love it. So he commentated for not very long because by the time I went up, you got here. By the time I went up to help to talk to the girls after they got out of their shower, I opened up his door. He was asleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Game 7, Nuggets Thunder, Sunday at 3:30. Um, I may be either coaching a game or driving back from Louisville.
Driving back would be good. Well, coaching would be better, right? Because that puts you in like the championship game.
Uh, I think we I think we only play one game Sunday no matter what, but it depends on I think that's the way it is. For some reason, I think it depends what time we play Sunday depends on how we do Friday and Saturday.
Sure. And
Uh,
then, okay, that
I
makes
don't I
sense.
don't know that they actually have a full bracket
It's
after
just
that.
like one of those. So the last two tournaments we've been in, like this past tournament we just did, was there's 5 teams. You play 2 pool play games. The top 2 teams play each other for the championship.
Oh,
Everybody else got another game. You play another game, but it's said you're not winning and moving on. It's just consolation.
yeah. Might be that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna find a way to watch it.
Like it. Like it. All right. So we've got Bill Burr next
Mhm.
week on Hulu, Drop Dead Years, and we have the Mount Rushmore of New York Knicks. I'm very interested to see who your fourth one will be.
Who my fourth one will be.
I feel like the top 3 are pretty much who they are
Hmm. That's
once
interesting.
you go to look at it.
Hmm. Okay.
I wonder, especially maybe wait until Sunday. Is that when the Knicks play again?
No, they play, I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Especially if they win
Yeah.
and make it. I wonder what that would do to your Mount Rushmore. Is there anything that could change your Mount Rushmore right now?
Possibly because I grew up hating the Knicks.
I know.
Um, but
There's only one Nick that would make it from those years.
probably.
There's no other Nick that's going to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
Not from then.
probably not. Yeah,
Pat's the only guy going to get it from there.
probably. Yeah.
But could Brunson slip into if he makes it to an Eastern Conference finals? Is that enough?
I would say he's probably already my favorite Nick ever,
I, yeah.
but
So he might be on yours before this even starts.
maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to find out. Until then, don't forget to turn your headlights on.